Cup of gratitude.
We should all be queens of our universe.
And yeah, tonight we're going to be spreading our wings, as you can see, crowning ourselves in our glory, as I have Queen Stacie, Tya's lead coach, handy dandy right here. And I have my wings, which I'm slowly flapping, because I broke one of my wings. Maybe that's what the topic is tonight. On Broken Wing. Actually, I think Mariah Carey not Mariah Carey, Martina McBride. How do you do that? How I even get those in the same sentence?
You lost me.
She's got Martina McBride. Martina's got a song that's really awesome, and it's called On Broken Wing, which is really an actually exceptional song. So everybody, hi, I am Debbie G. This is our beautiful Stacie, who is here tonight with me. She is the head coach over at Tya, and we are going to have a fabulous night. Trust me. I've got my wings flapping. She's got her crown shining, and God, I love that crown, like for real right now. I just now really took a look at that. Jesus. Okay. Say hi to everybody. Where did you get that? Jesus. Oh, Tracy.
Hey. Hey, Tracy. How's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, we're practicing our Halloween looks, right? Or my everyday?
Well, this is every day. Every day. Actually, Tracy, who is on right now, lives right here in Southern California with us, Stacie, and awesome. That girl's been wearing a crown of jewels, sapphires since I can remember. So I guarantee you, she's appreciating the crown right now. And I love that. And for everybody joining, I hope you get ready, because we're going to be straightening out your crown and your wings. Just saying.
Got it.
All right. So let everybody know a little bit about you, and we're going to get rocking and rolling.
Sure. What would you like me to share?
Whatever feels good for you to share about yourself. What do you want people to know about you, Stacie?
What would you like to know about me? Well, in the context of what we're doing right at this moment, I am the lead coach of the Tya Bootcamp Academy business practice. We like to listen to the stream of David and the eternal wisdom that he flows towards us. They've developed a beautiful practice. I'm one of the second students to go through the bootcamp program. And now we're building a business, David Strickle and I, and spreading the word, spreading bootcamp, spreading Tya Tools, spreading the love. It's a great way to, Debbie knows, she's been through it. She went through her ups and downs. And it's a great way to really change your outlook on life, to detune, what we like to refer to it as detuning fear and judgment, and getting into a space of radical appreciation for everything that you create in your life, whether you create being a queen, an angel, an angel, or some other version of yourself. You're always creating yourself, showing up in your universe right here, right now. So what do you create?
Right. As a matter of fact, I love that question. Everybody, type it in the chat. What are you creating? What are you creating? I want you to think about your life today, just here in the present moment, in the now. And think about, what is it that you are creating? What kind of magic are you creating? Stacie, I love Tya. And I'm going to give everybody a fair warning. This is a trigger warning. I might trigger you. That's my job. I trigger people. I'm really good with that, because if it triggers you, you're probably going to need to hear whatever comes out of either one of our mouths. Actually, Stacie triggers too. Fair warning. Today we're going to be talking about letting go, how to remain unattached in everything in your life, and what that looks like to let things go when it doesn't turn out like you think it should turn out, and how do you maneuver your way through that mess? And I am going to share about a situation that I have with my mother. We're going to jump into this, and I'm going to tell you that I have some big realizations. They're true for me. They don't need to be true for you. So when I say it, just know that. But yeah, I am ready. Do you want to dive into I'm calling this adult parental abandonment.
That's a big one.
That's what it is. And how that yeah. So we can dive into that, or we can dive into letting go of attachments to the way that people are. I don't know, everything.
I think you should start because that'll be a great segue to further discussion on how to let go. Because parents,
All right.
as we well know, as we're walking through the Tya practice, are transgressors. Those are individuals, events, or circumstances in your life that have happened to you, happened with you, that you created to learn and expand. And so we like to identify these things as Tya Bootcamp students. And once you start to identify those and detune them, you may see them vibrationally showing up as a dust type scenario in your life again. It sounds like Debbie G had that happen. So we'll let her take it from there so she can talk about mom. Mom.
Oh, you all. So a few years ago, I heard the sacred yes to do this work, and Stacie's had this same sacred yes. Along this journey, um, I've also been requested by spirit, by source, at least that's what I feel, to share all of the aspects of my life, anything and everything, and to share it with my truth and my truth only. Part of that truth also requires that I share with everybody about my childhood, where it was, and that type of thing. Well, needless to say, when you come from a codependent narcissistic family, you absolutely want to sweep shit under the rug. And if you're not sweeping under the rug, I'm going to tell you what, they're not going to want to know you. So we're not going to get into blaming, shaming, or judgment or anything. What we're going to get into here, I just want you to have a little quick backstory on this. So I get a phone call yesterday from my sister. She is radically upset because my mother has once again, because she disowned me 4 years ago. I'm 53 years old. Yes, she's disowned me. Um, and to let me know how upset she was because she was trying to tell my mom that I had just gotten engaged, which is awesome. By the way, I just got engaged. Another Tya story. So I'm sitting there, and the first thing I do is just like, I got to Tya this thing now. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to Tya it because I'm going to show up for my sister because let's face it, she's triggered by whatever. I've been dealing with the triggers, and I'm like, so I'm listening to her and I'm asking myself, is this worth it for me to go down my spiral? Number one. Number two, I'm watching my body. Stacie, I'm looking at my body and I'm like, is there anything coming up in my body right now that is there anything I need to see?
Great.
No.
Nice.
Now, I went through Tya almost 3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, and I detuned my transgressors.
Mm-hmm.
This dust that came up was beautiful because it really, really showed up for me so I could see what was happening. Now, let me tell you what that looks like. So I sat there and like I shared with my sister, can you imagine what this must be like to be my mother? I just want you all to sit and I want you to think about this. What must it be like to be her in 1967 when she found out she was pregnant with me? But, you know, and then to have to lie about who my biological father was because she still hasn't told me who that is. Can you imagine what's real for her at this point? 1968. I mean, this is brutal, right? Coming from her own trauma, always wanting to protect me. What I've always viewed as my mother's inability to love me the way I thought she needed to love me was really her only way she knew to protect me. That requires empathy. If you have children, have you ever wanted to protect your kids at all cost? Now, is it true that I feel I felt that she was abandoning? Wanted to tell myself the story, Stacie. I wanted to tell my story that she's abandoning me again, blah 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 blah. But the Tya Tools would not let me do this, no matter what. There wasn't even anything to forgive at this point. I'm going to promise you all. I am seriously. She's an incredible woman. How can we not understand what's real for her? How can we not understand what she's been through? How can we not step into that? Now, let me tell you some other great things I'm grateful for while we're at it. I'm grateful that I saw that my mom, I'm gonna call it like it is. The narcissist in her was the narcissist in me, which I wasn't able to see while we were connected. It wasn't until we disconnected that I was able to observe it. And then through Tya taught me, oh, if I see it, well, what's up? Where is this in me? So I tell this story tonight because I want you all to understand the impact here. You're probably telling yourself a story about your parents right now. My mom and dad did this shit. And it's destroyed my life. And my mother hates me. And she doesn't like me. Really? So I determined today, Stacie, that we are all a bunch of trauma babies. We're a bunch of trauma babies. I was a trauma baby. And I'm growing up now in my Tya, but I was a trauma baby. And I've trauma bonded with other trauma babies.
Oh God, yes.
And today I was faced with the ultimate when I spoke to somebody from that past. And I did not. Y'all ready for this? I want a drum roll. Okay. I did not share the story of my mother. I did not share the story at all. I allowed it to let go. If you're telling yourself a story that's keeping you stuck in muck, please look at me. Please look at Stacie. Stacie. We are living proof you don't have to do it anymore.
Yep.
So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And Mom, I love you. I get it. And you know what? She's a trauma baby too.
Yep.
A bunch of trauma babies we need some trauma baby pacifiers.
This is such a great topic. I'm so glad you brought it up because I too, for many, many years, was a trauma baby. I hung on to the story. I was a poor orphan baby that was birthed by an unwed mother when she was 17 years old. I never got to bond with my mother. They took me away as soon as I was born. For 3 months, I lived in an orphanage. Nuns took care of me. To this day, I still have a very high angelic connection, which is, I love Debbie G's wings. But a part of tools that we like to use, implement on a regular basis, to start at the beginning, is how do you identify somebody that's a transgressor? Well, there's this funny thing that I think happens when we come in as a soul. We forget that we made a choice to be here, that we made a choice to pick that parent that's going to abandon you, to pick the narcissistic father. For me, I ended up with adoptive parents. My mother was an alcoholic. We had a highly codependent family. I picked my father using me as his surrogate wife. So it is not random. Our souls knew that if we had the specific journey, that we would be able to expand, that we'd be able to learn, that our consciousness would grow, and that wouldn't just affect us. That would affect Debbie. That would affect Erica, who's watching. That would affect Tracy. That would affect the entire vibration of the universe itself.
That's right.
Okay, mind-blowing, right? That's mind-blowing. It's a lot to absorb. That's a lot to own. But it starts there.
Yeah.
And then it's Debbie G has a relationship with her mom. It's not so good. We hang on to those stories. I hung on to my stories for years. I didn't even know my mother until I was in my 40s, until my adoptive parents had passed. I finally found my birth mother. And I remember the times that I interacted with her, especially via Facebook, where I would literally cringe like I was 16 years old again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was a 46-year-old woman. What the hell is going on? So I took time to really look at what's the trigger here. That's the first sign that you are dealing with one of your transgressors. And we're giving you big Tya tools here, guys. So listen closely.
Huge, big.
We're giving you the inside track. If you are having a specific visceral response, physical, anger, upset, emotional, you think about it for days and days, and I should have said this, and that's a transgressor. Most likely, the transgressors that you will identify in the beginning are your parents. God bless them. But again, you chose them. I chose to come into a situation, to being born, to having angelic presence around me. To this day, I use it every day. I tap into that. It's kind of like my superpower, and blame it on the white hair.
You actually kind of look like an angel, totally. Don't you guys think she looks like an angel? I mean, seriously, what I'd like to know from the audience, I love, God, the way you just came in, and this was really juicy. I would like everybody to just type into the chat really quickly. What's your takeaway right now? What are you feeling? What's coming up for you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, how's this vibing?
Mm-hmm. How was it sitting? It's a lot to take
both,
first, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, do y'all realize, like, we're suggesting that you're going to get into deep appreciation for these people that have hurt you.
Mm-hmm. And that's great. Okay, Sharon, so you're saying you had no idea what you were getting into.
That is my sister.
Right? Imagine what you might have been getting yourself into. Imagine if you knew from some higher place, from your higher self, from your soul, whatever you want to call it. Imagine that aspect of you knew exactly what you're getting into.
That's right.
How do you go about owning that piece and taking your power back? Because that really is what's going to move you through creating with the laws of attraction. It all's together. We think these are separate things, right? Oh, I'll detune that and I'll be good. No, you got to get your power back. That's how you start to communicate well with the universe. You got to get your vibe up. Radical appreciation for all the crap that you've created in your life.
I tell you. Okay, so you brought up something that's really important, and that's when it comes up in your body. And I want to give a huge shout out to my sister. Hey, girl, I love you. And I shout out to the fact that she loves me so much that I mean, I want to give you one more appreciation. The fact that she and I are able to establish the relationship we should have always had together now, because we have been able to observe it from afar. I just want to mention that when we're not stuck in the trauma of what somebody else did, we're able to appreciate the people that are present in our life now. But I want to go back to, let's talk more about the body, because you see, when you start recognizing what's coming up in your body, you're able to start dealing with it. Because we've done this Tya, we've done Tya, we have tools. But what does that mean when it comes up in your body?
That's a good one. So in my opinion, that's like that's your barometer. Like that. Yeah. That's the way your radar system, whether you may be attuned to it and you may be not attuned to it. It's that walking into a room and knowing that there's certain people at a party you'd like to gravitate versus other people. You get a feeling, oh, those people look interesting over there. Or, oh, yeah, I don't want to deal with those folks. Or, I just totally lost my train of thought. Sorry. My story is I slept in a parking lot next to the Carl's Jr. because we had severe wind and we couldn't drive the 395 highway that's eastern of the Sierras in California. It was shut down. And at 1:30 in the morning, the Carl's Jr. food truck showed up.
Oh, my word. Okay. Yeah, you're smelling like Breakfast. Yeah,
Exactly.
yes. You know, what I discovered today was when my head, Stacie, my body's still catching up with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's still catching up. Like I'll
Yeah.
feel it come up in my body, but it's because like that. Do you guys all realize that trauma gets stuck in your bodies and that's where you get your headaches and your neck aches and your migraines and your whole blah 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 blah. Your body's holding on for dear life. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, man. You've been stuck in that for so long in victim mode. And I promise you, getting out of it is exactly what we're talking about doing here. Being stuck in victim, what does that mean? Well, if you're the stream says if you're in anything less than bliss, you're in victim mode. Oh, what do you mean? You're going to tell me this is my fault? This is me? What do you mean? I can't blame this on somebody? Yeah, no. No.
Well, anybody who's done anything physical in terms of like trying to reach a goal, whether it's an athletic goal or you like to hike mountains like I do, you're trying to diet to look a certain way, fit into a certain size. Ultimately, the only thing we truly have control over, it's not your mom, it's not your circumstances outside yourself, it's not the person driving down the road, or
No.
it's none of that. It's this. I can control what is physically mine, my body, my thoughts, and my emotions, and how they're all linked. Again, not separate. When you go through Tya Bootcamp, as Deb's suggesting, there is a bit of a lag because your cellular construct, your so-called solid body, the meat suit that houses your soul, does have to catch up. Does have to catch up with that vibration that you start to electronically, for lack of a better word, increase, and you're raising it. And that's the way to increase that, is to start watching what happens physically to yourself. Where is your vibe? How does that be? How is that affected when you interact with Debbie G, when you drink water, when you exercise, when you go to the bank and you run into somebody you don't really like? It's like that. Yeah, that's watching your spiral. So we talk about that a lot during the Tya practice, during the tools. David talks about it a lot. Where are you on your spiral? We have a question, Lorna Jordan.
I would love to bring that up.
Always trying to push it out of my body and not wanting to deal with it. Huh.
Oh, yeah, Lorna. I get it. Not wanting to deal with it. Oh, yeah. I've been there and I've not wanted to deal with it by weighing almost 300 pounds, by abusing alcohol for a year and a half, by abusing pills, by codependence. I mean, I pushed it out all those ways. How about you?
Oh, sure. Excessive shopping. I like to do that.
Oh, I love shopping. Oh, yeah, shopping's great. But yeah.
Working too much. Being an alcoholic. Watching too much television. Like, none of these things are bad, but I always like the saying, everything's good in moderation, including moderation.
Oh my God. So, Lorna, you're not alone.
No. And I think that's what's most amazing. If you've had a chance to go onto the Tya practice page and interact with us, what you are experiencing is not unique. I apologize. You are a unique individual, but your experiences, your visceral reactions, your physical reactions are the same that I've had, are the same that Debbie G had, are the same that Lorna's had, the same as Sharon, the same as Cheryl, the same as Erica. Everybody has had that kind of reaction on one level or another. Sometimes strong, sometimes weak. There's somebody that you might end up interacting with and just totally resonate because their experience is so similar to what you went through. So it's not like, let's judge each other. Oh, Debbie G, how could you do that? Oh, no. But look what she did. She took ownership. She stepped out of the victim mode, changed the way you lived your life, what you put in your mouth, how much exercise you got. Now she's a svelte, what, size 6?
No, svelte size 10-ish. I'm working on my size 6 back. Get back. But no, absolutely. I've lost a whole person 22 years ago.
That,
Totally. Yeah.
I love how you said that though. You lost a whole person. Were you like carrying your
The
mom?
whole
Whoa.
carrying, I think I carry, yeah, I think I like carried by every, yeah, because I was at that time, I would have been her best buddy and sharing like stuff that honestly, to tell you the truth, there's a dynamic there that was incorrect when the mom sharing stuff with you that you probably don't have any business listening to
Yeah.
because they need a best friend and they're not outside of their relationship. It's yeah. So carrying stuff, yeah, carrying it and that's what it is like. It's heavy. It's
Mm-hmm.
heaviness.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Having this on you physically, emotionally, and mentally.
Oh,
Men-
completely.
Oh yeah, I did that with my father for years. I mean, he decided to die young, and I miss him every single day. Oh, but wow, I got my life back afterwards because at 19, I was still, I was a surrogate mother to three kids and an alcoholic mom, and that was a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
It taught me a ton about boundaries, about what codependency was doing for my life, the things I wanted to move through, experience. I was a young woman, so I went crazy afterwards. It was kind of fun. Had to come back to normal or normal center for me. But it was super freeing to have all that energy left. And I can imagine the more you progressed along your weight loss journey, the more enthused and ready and yes, let's get this done you felt too. So imagine, I'm
Exactly.
curious, is there anything in anybody's life that they would like to let go? Ah,
Yeah. Anybody. Let's do that. Hmm.
your daughter has an alcoholic father. It's heartbreaking. So, is it heartbreaking to you because he's an alcoholic? Or is it heartbreaking to you because it's her father? It's good to discern that for yourself. And how much are you taking on her pain when maybe it's actually her journey to experience an alcoholic father? I know it's going to trigger the hell out of you because if somebody said that to me when I was a younger self dealing with my alcoholic mother, I would have been really pissed. So I apologize. Okay, because it's her father. Okay, so that's a great response. I'm sorry, I can't see her name. Can you, Deb?
It no,
Okay,
no.
so
Mhm.
that's really cool. You've identified that part of it, and this is where we were talking about earlier. We're going to kind of dive into letting go. Letting go is an interesting dance. Attachments, expectations are usually one of the top things for why we're holding on to something. Expectations revolve around two things: judgment and fear. Neither one of those things are innate to us as human beings, as human souls. We learn those as we get older. Stream talks about this a lot. We are conditioned to believe that we have to be fearful, to believe that we have to judge. And all this comparison that we do, whether Debbie's got nice lipstick on and, oh, I really should have put more lipstick on before I came.
You can do a comparison. Oh, she just did right. So we're gonna celebrate Stacie's gorgeous smile. Opposite of comparison is comparison. You're killing it though. Do you all feel this right now? I want you to just step into this. Step into the idea that possibly looking outside of yourself at anything is how is that serving you? I'm just curious because in my world, all of these are true. I judged out of fear. I blamed out of fear, out of the fear of me actually staring at myself and seeing what was real for me as a human being. Now, this isn't regarding your daughter at all. This is regarding you, Facebook user, who I don't know your name, but I love you. And I
Mhm.
love you tremendously. I love you so much that I'm going to tell you that I'd be more curious as to what that is going on for you and why that you're so focused on it and rather than yourself. Because I'm going to tell you, I have adult children and I'm not always, oh my God, Can I tell you how never not happy I can be about sometimes the decisions that they might make? Lord help me. And oh my God, do I want to tell you all about it. But that's not going to do me any good. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they were here, Stacie just said, who are we to stop the journey for them? Without your dark, you wouldn't know your spark.
Heck yeah.
Why are we snuffing out our children's dark or spark and not allowing them to experience their dark? I think that came out right.
Yes, it did.
Now, abuse of any kind in any situation is a big, fat, giant no. Okay. I'm going to just preface that because I've been in those places just like Stacie has too.
Yep.
The bigger question is, what is this? How do you want to process this for yourself? How can you let go of the very thing that's actually hurting you more than anybody else? I'm curious because here's what happened yesterday. When I got in my car and I went on, this is a Tya tool. I'm going to share it with you guys really quickly. This was a low thought activity. Low thought activity for me is driving my car by the beach. I just gave you guys a handy dandy trick-a-do. Okay. Grab that little sucker. So I'm driving, doing my breathing. That's another Tya one. You guys are just like on fire tonight. You're getting more stuff. But I'm thinking to myself, I love me. I love me in spite of you not being able to love me the way I thought you should. I love me. I love the narcissist in me because I love the narcissist in you. I love me because of my radical appreciation for everything that I am. I love me. I love me. And I want to tell you, as I'm saying this right now, I'm getting chills down my body. This is what I was doing in my car. I love me because I am worth it. I love me because I deserve it. I love me because I'm a radical badass. I love me because I deserve to love myself. And I loved me and I loved me and I loved me. Getting stuck in a story of what was happening, telling you about my all of that, it doesn't matter anymore. What matters is how am I treating myself right now in this moment now? Because if I don't treat myself now in this moment well, I'm going to suck for y'all.
So I'm
Period.
curious, can you point out for us the difference in that internal voice for you when you were noticing the transgressor of mom versus you were flipping it while you were doing your low thought activity, reaffirming that you were worthy, that you were loved? What were you thinking? What was the voice in your head before?
It was trying to analyze. It was trying to analyze because that overthinking, overprocessing. It
Yeah.
was going into this overthinking, overprocessing. And then I sat back and it just hit me. It was like I quieted. That's another tool you guys learn how to quiet the voice of the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she just got quiet, and I was able to hear, "I love me. I love me. I love me." And I'm going to tell you, that's the one thing that you can take from Tya when you do this work. The I love me becomes part of your story. So really the whole idea here is what we're drilling in is you've got the opportunity to change it. No, you don't have to stay addicted to drugs. No, you don't have to stay addicted to alcohol. No, you don't have to be addicted to shopping. You don't have to be, and everybody's addicted to something. So don't even tell me, well, I don't have anything because you're full of shit. Stacie, by the way, I also got to say that everybody in their ego lies. Y'all can't know how to tell the truth until you learn how to lie. So own your shit.
Well, and it's interesting. So if we're going to go back to that voice, the first step for that is, how do you identify that voice? It's there all the time. A lot of times, well, sometimes, but in my experience, it's hidden as somebody else's voice. Like my dad used to say something to me that was not very kind. Guys don't make passes at girls with that. Yes. So that stuck with me and it was in my head for so long. And then, of course, that's all flipped with the Kardashians. And
I was just going to say, so now, yeah.
Wish you were still alive to see that one. But it's those internal voices come from somebody else, usually parent, a teacher, fourth grade teacher that was wicked mean to me, a massage therapy coach who hated my guts. I don't know why. So she would say awful things to me as well. It's like you record those awful things and then you play them on a loop inside your head. So that's where we got to cut that tape. When you start noticing that voice is coming in again and again and again, it's like, okay, where is this voice actually coming from? This is not true. And that's the great question I always ask myself. Is this true? Or is this just some effed up way that I've perceived an event in the past, perceived myself in the past? So stop and start to identify that. That's a huge key in using the Tya tools as well.
That's like a favorite. I want everybody type in the chat. Is it true? ? Whatever's going on in your head right now, I want you to type, is it true, in the chat, and then answer yes or no. And if it's something derogatory about yourself, I'm going to encourage you to stop right there. Hammer time. Okay, look. I mean, really now.
Yeah. Another thing that I want to
yes, please.
Like when I find myself, and I don't do it often anymore because I'm 4 years out of the Tya Bootcamp program, it changes your operating system. It really infiltrates every single part of your body, your thought process, your emotions. But in the past, I have used this very valuable question, especially when I felt like I was falling into a victim scenario in my head or in reality. It was basically, how is this serving me? By staying with this victim mentality, by having the choice to choose a different perspective, but still going back to the victim mode. How does that serve you? Because if you're here, you're picking your scenarios, you're picking everything that happens in your life because of the vibration you send out, then what's the next step? If you're picking all these things, claim ownership. Where is this serving me? How will this lead me to my expansion? What lesson am I learning? Observe. That's what meditation's so great for, because you get to step away from yourself a little bit and to start to observe that monkey mind that likes to jump around and talk a lot. We all have that. I still have it. It's awesome.
You do try this monkey.
Mine's so much fun to watch now. But once you get a little perspective, then you can really see, I keep doing this, experiencing an alcoholic parent or an abusive boyfriend because it makes me feel a certain way. Does that feeling give you any power? Or is it just something that you're used to doing? Again, it's almost like that loop inside your head of negativity. Cut the cord somewhere.
Got to cut that cord somewhere. I love that you just said it's all perspective. People thinking, I've got to change this. I got to change. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're actually divinely perfect the way you are. It's the perspective that she just mentioned that we change. There isn't anything more freeing for me than owning that I lied. I lie to myself mostly, because if you're not telling the truth to other people, just imagine the BS you're telling yourself. And that little that little voice, that one you hear is the one that goes, yeah, you knew this was going to happen. Yeah, you knew better. Yeah. Oh, that's not your fault. All of those little, and what I can just tell you what I do, and that's just simple. I break out my victim emergency butthurt kit for myself, and I tell her, go have a seat on the hemorrhoidal pad for your butthurt ass. I'm talking to myself here. Here's some tissues for your issues, little Debbie. There you go, honey. Me too. All right. And here's some pad of paper you might want to jot down whatever's going on for you, or tell the other person off, because I'm sure that'll do you some good. It's worked all this other time, hadn't it? So you just sit there right now, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take over this show now. And this show is called, yeah, no, the old story doesn't work for me anymore. What does work for me? To realize that I think Ram Dass is the only person I've ever heard that said this. We're all just walking each other home, and love is. Have we ever stopped to be, Stacie, have you ever just like been compassionate for yourself, for the idea that all you wanted to do was be loved? All that my mom wants right now is to be loved. All that your dad wanted was to be loved. All these perpetrators that you guys want to be pissed at and hold on to these stories for, all they wanted to be was loved. And you, all you've ever wanted to be was loved.
All human beings have basic needs. Basic needs to be seen, heard, and accepted. That's it. And acceptance, of course, equals love. If we don't experience love, we wither. We have to be in community. We're not singular beings, all living out playing our game. We are unified. We're a whole. We're a tribe. I had a lot of resistance with that whole tribe thing. Tribe. It's a tribe.
Yeah, right. No. I totally got you on this. You want us to fuck? What?
Through building the Tya Tools, the foundation of, the boot camp, working with David Strickle, and making a community. We built a community of people of like mind. This is my tribe, and it's the best feeling in the world. To be seen, to be recognized. I'm goofy. I'm broken in the past, and I put myself back together. And I'm super excited to share the way I did it with you guys, as is Debbie. I know she is. She has the same passion that I do. We live in that same boat, and we rode around, and we're like, oh, come on, get in and row with us for a while. It's fun.
Look at my sister. She loves it. You know what? No. Just want to cry.
Don't cry. Oh my God, I always make people cry. I'm sorry.
But you guys, you don't have to do it anymore. You can live your life, and you can love yourself, and you can stop telling yourself a story that's no longer true. Because for flippin' sakes, you deserve it. You deserve it. And Sharon, you damn well deserve it, baby girl.
You certainly do.
Darn right. And everyone else that's on here and listening, Sharon's my sister, 18 months younger than me. And we are finally in our 50s being allowed to embrace each other fully. Not being allowed, we have chosen to take our power back and love each other to the fullest extent that we are here to love. That's all we're here for. We are all loved. But I want you all to also hear what she said. To be understood, to be seen, accepted.
Look at you. Are you guys seeing what Debbie just went through? This is at your fingertips. Yeah. You embrace the Tya Tools. You detune your transgressors. You start working on that judgment that is prevalent in our thinking. We can't look at another person without saying, "Oh, gee, she's got well, if there was only that, not there." Stop. Because you're doing it 10 times worse to yourself. I did it 10 times worse to myself. It was a miserable existence. Don't be in misery. Be in love with yourself. I had this horrible phrase. I got to take this off because it's starting to itch.
She's got an itchy crown head. Itchy crown.
Every time I felt like I was making a mistake, I would say to myself, F me. One of our Tya masters, she said, she called me out. She goes, you can't do that anymore. I said, what? Why not? Because I just thought it was just like, some flippant thing. F me.
Yeah.
No. That's actually really damaging to yourself. I said, okay, well, what do I say? And she goes, love me. And I cried instantaneously. It hit me and now, instead of saying F me when I make a mistake or something happens where I'm like, oh my God, love me. Oops. Just like Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. But love me.
Yeah.
Me,
Yeah.
me. That's where it starts. Turn off the negative voice. Love you. And then you get to love your sister more. It's so
Oh,
beautiful.
it's crazy awesome like right now. You guys don't even know. Look, I I love I love that I have a mom that is still protecting me by staying away. Y'all feel me on this? Did you hear what I said? I would never have seen that if I didn't. This is beautiful. I see hugs. That's all I see. I just see hugs and I see healing. I see nothing else. But the only way I was able to achieve this was by doing my work internally and by wanting to release the old story that I was holding on to for dear life. Oh, dear God, if I don't have this story, who am I going to be? And here I am discovering a whole different me. You totally get that, Cheryl? Okay, I love that. Now, let's talk about this weekend,
Wait,
Stace.
back up just a
Oh,
second.
wait. Oh,
You just said, who would you be if you weren't that story?
yeah. No, I had no clue. I was
Oh,
scared to death to figure out who I was going to be if I didn't have a story.
it's huge. That's one of those pieces we lie to ourselves about. This story defines me. I'm an Aries. That defines me. I grew up in Southern California. That defines me. No, it doesn't. Who the heck cares where I grew up? It's just a circumstance. Yes, it was a blissful life. I love the beach still. But that is not me. I'm not the beach. I like the beach. Right? Same.
Totally.
I'm not the poor abandoned child who had for year and boy did I play that sucker out. I played that one out so good over my lifetime. I'm in my mid 50s, right? Years and years, man after man. It was super entertaining.
I
but
know you were entertaining. I could tell just from sitting here.
but ultimately I got tired of that game. I
Yeah.
still wasn't getting what I wanted in life. That
Yeah.
joyful, connected relationship. So you have to start to look at what are the things that you're telling yourself? What are the lies that you're telling yourself? And how often do they come up? And I love the perspective thing too, goes back to like Debbie had experiences with her mother when you were a very small child, 3, 4. Can that child's mind even grasp what your mom was going through at that time? So what if that recollection isn't correct? Because you're an uneducated, very small child, confused by the situation, didn't know all the circumstances, had no idea how your mother was raised and what tools she was taught or not taught. It's interesting to start to unravel all that.
Mm-hmm.
Dismantle that story to see more clearly that those pieces that you put together as a 3-year-old don't really fit or work for you as an adult. Love you too.
Oh, I was just having this conversation. I'm like, do y'all realize that I realized I was reacting like a 5-year-old to some stuff because that's where the trauma point was in me. Once you see it, and it's really not that hard. It's like once you see it, y'all, well, if you got the tools, you can just smack it away. It's good. You can detune it. You're like, I got this. The fact is, you said is just vital. I mean, take it easy on yourselves. Have some compassion. All you've ever wanted to do was be loved. And let's face it, at 3 and 5 and 6, when we're developing all these coping skills that sucked, well, actually, did they, or did they bring us to the person that we are today? It's not even fair to call them sucky anymore
Nope.
because
Uh-uh.
they're like our building blocks.
Yeah. And damn, were you creative? You
Oh
were
God,
so
yeah.
creative because you had to get creative. How can I get creative to survive the situation, to get the love I
Mm-hmm.
want? I needed, I felt like I deserved. You get super creative. Kids are super imaginative, excuse me.
Imaginable. I
Imagine, I
like
just,
that word, imaginable.
so, it's like, I like to appreciate radically my younger self for getting through, for being able to self-soothe, I can be alone spectacularly. It's one of my favorite things to do because I love me. So if you find yourself not loving you, what part of your little self is still wanting attention, is still wanting love, is still wanting recognition, has a skewed perspective on life? That's right, Nicole. That's awesome. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys are still here. You've survived. You're a survivor. Whatever circumstance that you went through, that's power right there. Claim it more. Take it more. Love yourself more.
Love yourself more. I love me. I love me. Why do I love me? The I am statements are awesome and I love I am statements, but I love me. I love me and make a song out of it, however you need to work it. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about Tya. Let's just rip in real quick because there's a really awesome Tya summit that's coming up. And I'm going to hand this over to Stacie to talk all about it. And I'm going to look for the link to add you into it. So I'll be right.
Thank you. Thank you. So we're having a live summit, a streaming session with David Strickle. He streams the stream of David. And this will go on, I think, this time. Pardon me, I'm not correct if it's either 2 or 4 hours. It's you pay a fee, you come in, you can ask as many questions you want. It's an open forum. It's extremely informative. It is so much fun. The time goes by in a flash, and you can get answers that you want for your questions. You'll be surprised and amazed to see the questions that other people bring in and the responses that are given to those questions, and really how they end up fitting exactly what you needed to hear. It's a once in a lifetime experience. Great, she's got the join the summit here link. It's super fun. I'll be on. Debbie will be on. Yes, are you going to be on? Awesome.
I will be there.
Yeah, it's just every single time we do it, everybody walks away. They're high as a freaking kite because the energy gets so ramped up with the group of us together. And the stream starts flowing, this wisdom, this eternal wisdom that blows you away. We called them Supervibes last time. Everybody walked around for like 3 days just buzzing because of all this great energy, endless amounts of love and acceptance funneled to you over that time period.
I'm hoping that this goes through.
Yes, it looks like it is.
Okay. Well, I'm attempting to, but what you all can do is just go to the Tya practice group, TYA practice group, and join the practice group right now. And the link is also inside of there. Plus the fact you're going to see Tya talk on and all kinds of just good stuff, period. I mean, that's just all kinds of great, yummy stuff right in the Tya practice group. And no matter where that you're watching this from, whatever you're going to just do me a favor. Post your biggest takeaway from tonight, please.
Yes.
What's your biggest takeaway from tonight, Stacie?
My biggest takeaway that I absolutely love doing this. I love it more every single day. Sharing the Tya Tools, sharing my life's experiences. It seems to me like everything I did up to this point was just so I could share it with you guys. Just so I could say, hey, use these tools. They worked phenomenally for me. They got me out of my old icky story, out of all these serial dating and weird scenarios, to a space of bliss and joy. It's real.
It is real. Serial dating. You kill me. I just, God. And Get your wings. You can
Your
get your
wings,
angel wings.
get your crown.
Get your crown. You guys need to remember, you need to remember who you are.
Yeah,
You
I'm
are
good.
not that story that you've been telling yourself. You are
Uh,
a badass warrior. That's what you is.
Yay, Natalie. Self love. Yeah, we love you, Natalie.
More, 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 more.
He's right, more. We
Linda,
right.
I love this. Linda, hi, honey. Oh my God. I love all of you that have been on tonight. Wow.
I am
Remember,
worthy. Thank you, Lorna.
love it. I'm just stoked. Keep it coming. Come on, guys. Keep it coming. You got 2 more minutes. Get them pumping out. Get them pumping out. Let's see them. Come on. Come on now. I want to see those takeaways from tonight. And if anybody is not in the Tya practice group, please make sure you let me know. That's where you can find more information out and about getting these tools. You guys, well, what tools? What is she talking about? What do you mean tools? What I mean is learning new perspectives and new things that you can do in the moment to change the outcome of what is happening for you. Speaking of outcomes, do yourself a favor, practice the art of non-interference as well as not being attached to those outcomes because it probably isn't going to serve you. God,
My
those
favorite phrase, engaged detachment.
ooh,
From probably a Buddhist practitioner. How can
I
you
love
with an engaged detachment? As in, you trust the universe, everything is going to unfold perfectly for you because of that trust. And you're just engaged with every single thing that happens every moment it happens.
I'm dying right now. Engaged attachment.
Isn't that
I,
great?
oh, it's seriously, and I'm loving it. We have a brand new Tya Bootcamp graduate here.
Yep. Leslie. Shout out to
Notice
Leslie.
her. Now, everybody, please notice the Wonder Woman picture that she's got here. This woman is a prime example of it's never too late to kick some ass. Okay, she's just amazing. She's probably my mother's age. I believe that's what she said. And I love that about her. And I love the fact that she's been through Tya and she's absolutely slammed it. You're all worth it. I'm telling you. There just isn't any more that I can tell you. Engaged detachment. Oh my God.
Leslie, play with that one. It's a good one. I had the pleasure
That
of
is,
coaching Leslie through her boot camp experience, and she is a phenomenal student. Yes, she's a young 68. She's an amazing.
Linda, I love this. Linda, look what Linda just said.
Yeah,
A
you learn.
lovely 60. Well, Linda, you know me a long time. We've been doing this. We've been doing this a minute. You know, and I know that radical appreciation is where it's at in a nutshell. How did I manifest the most amazing? I love it. We're Tya, we're Tya brides.
We
We're
are
Tya brides. I swear, you guys, how did I do it? God, Linda, I'm telling you, the tools
next,
in Tya, you got
next
to do it.
topic.
Oh my God, seriously, you guys want to hear all about how oh, it's a if
How
you
do you
don't think
turn?
that I haven't had Joe popping and hopping, could you imagine what I'm hopping, popping? And let me tell you that my fiance is also in Tya boot camp. I should just say, because and I'm so thrilled about it, and I love that. And David Strickle is in the house.
House. We love you, David.
We love you. I want to be a Tya bride too. Well, then, girl, you're gonna have to just come join Tya. Linda,
There we
Linda, listen, Linda, listen.
go.
I love you. Oh my God, I love her so much. Linda, you're just such an amazing human, and I'm so grateful I know you, and we've known each other a long time. And I promise you, you got to do it because between my house, my car, my life, my everything, and where I sit now compared to where I was 3 years ago. Come on now. Come on now. You were right there with me, girl. And you know how hard this work has been, and I love it. And I love you. And so come on, join the Tya practice group, Linda, and come join us in this extremely wonderful summit that's going to be happening as well. Just it's let's get some tools, guys. Sharing is caring.
Caring is caring. Damn those Care Bears.
Here, we'll just give you guys some massive love like a Care Bear.
Definitely. Rainbows. I need rainbows coming out of my hand. Yeah, but let's talk next week about relationships. Let's talk about how serial dating actually did lead me to the man of my dreams that I married 2 years ago. And that Debbie G's getting married soon. No, well, in a year. David Strickland really has an amazing relationship story himself. So Tya can create those things for you if you use the tools. Start your practicing now. What did we go over today? We went over identifying what a transgressor is in your life. Look for the signs, emotional triggers, physical triggers. Somebody you just don't like. Why don't you like them? Second one, start identifying what that negative voice is saying to you. When does it come up? Is it true? How is it serving you? Play with those 2 things this week, and we'll see you next week for more.
I cannot wait. Woo! Bye, everybody. So this has been our first edition of the Inside Scoop, and you've been scooped. I don't know about that. I love you.